out doing a little walk, so I thought I would give you a quick rundown. I've done this whole video about putting in my solar, and this first section that you're going to come to is going to be me installing or beginning the install of the extra cables and whatnot. Here's the only problem. I didn't realize until I was putting the video together that I somehow screwed up and didn't record the whole first part of the process. You're not going to miss anything because I did have to complete it on a second day. So I fortunately noticed before I did that I had missed that part of putting the connections together and that kind of stuff. So it was a little bit more of a cleaner, less chaotic mess day 2 anyway. So this video is going to start with me saying, so I'm not finished or not completed. Just keep watching. The only reason I kept that section is there is a lot of good info in there, or you know, what I think is good info. So I didn't want to cut it out. I just went ahead and left that little piece in there, and then it goes into the next portion of doing the video or doing the installation. So if you have any questions, let me know, and enjoy the install of the final 200 watts of 600 watts of solar. Alrighty, well, I'm not complete. So it seems like I have a vague memory of thinking I'm going to need to order one more of those branch connectors, and I only ordered one set. I was correct. I needed to order 2 sets. So at the moment, I've got everything cut and ready to go. I still only have my 2 panels or 4 panels connected, and here's why. So if you see that chaos back there, I still have 2 panels that will connect to the new branch connectors when that comes in, which will be 2 days from now. So I've got everything set and ready. I'm going to go and get some more of the little connector things, these little babies, but I'm going to get so that I can go ahead and get everything cleaned up and fixed up so that everything is nice and stationary and in place. I will not connect the final 2 panels until I get, and I plan that Friday will be the day that I do this, that I go ahead and do the, connect the new solar controller. Reason being, I have to take a shelf out. I got to take a bunch of stuff out of the camper to get access to everything. So when I tackle that, it's going to be a project. So and I may have to get in some recruits just to get some extra hands, because I've got to feed some, when I run the cell connector, I've got to run the, try to feed it down into the wall, which is going to be tricky all on its own because it, you know, it's tight. I've got a wire feed thing. I don't know what they're called, but I've got one so that I should be able to get to it. Doesn't have to go too far. And then I kind of do some little weird finagling through the wall, behind the shelf, which is a lot of place in that end cap for me to do that. Anyway, so I've got, these are the 2 rear panels and the 2 rear panels on the negative. Those are connected. And then I have 1 panel each up front. Now you can't tell in all of that mess. Here's what I do recommend doing. For whatever reason, all of the cables on here are, on the panels are black, which makes it harder to see, probably with the intention of it looking better. But you've got to look at this teeny tiny mark on the end of each of these boxes where they connect into the panel to see which one's the positive and which one's the negative. My recommendation is get some red electrical tape, and mark all of your positives on top of the box. Just put a piece of tape on there. I haven't done it. I'm going to go do it here in a second, so that you don't have to try to keep squinting to see that little bitty tiny, I mean, we're talking teeny tiny mark on which one's the negative and the positive. And that's what kind of got me all screwed up. And then of course the cables for the connections are all black, so that didn't help either. So, you know, kind of keep yourself, just pre-mark everything, and then I will show you the finished product on Friday. I will probably run you through, I'll call it a part whatever. I may break this down into bits so you can see what you want to see. If you want to see just this part, or if you want to just see adding the solar controller and how that works. So I am off to electrical supply here in town because Lowe's does not carry these little connector thingies, and so I can at least get everything anchored and clean and done, and then we will go from there on Friday. So I got my extra little prong deals, my little extenders, so I'm going to get this set up. I do want to, the way this was set up, I went ahead and plugged everything in the other day to where everything was laid out. I don't like the way this, the one over on this side is showing from the ground, so I'm going to do a bit of an extension on this one to get everything to the center and a little bit more cleaned up, and then I'll have all 6 panels attached. You'll see in the video later that I'll have everything. I've got the monitor. Hopefully it's not too windy and you can hear me. It's kind of a crazy windy day today. One day I gotta get a little mic thing. Anyway, so I will get everything connected, but let me figure out real quick how I want to get the pieces cut, get everything connected. I'll show you how to connect one of them. It's super straightforward, simple. I had it recorded earlier and managed to lose it, so I will do that over again. And then I will show you everything set up, cleaned up, anchored down, that kind of stuff, and then we'll look at the monitor and how that's reading inside. All right, it is crazy windy, so I'm going to do this really fast. I'll show you how we get this thing connected. Let me get all the parts out, and then, like I said, I'll show you how everything looks once it's together. I think I've sorted out that I've got all my parts. I'm going to connect the existing ones first, or the ones that I need to get added first. Makes sense, right? Make sure I've got enough pieces, because I did make a couple boo-boos the other day when I was doing it, and so consequently I've used up some of my kits, and I've only got 3, so I may not have enough to finish. I think I've got enough parts, but we're going to look. So I have this connected, so I know I've got enough. So this is the end. This is actually the end from the original one that I cut off. That's going to go in here. I just need to get it connected to this one here, and then and that actually put that on there. So I do have enough parts because I put that on there so that I would not lose it. Smart, right? So I only need to go, I don't really even need to go this far, but I'm giving myself a little bit extra room, so we're going about here. Hopefully the camera won't fall over. It is windy. We're getting gusts today up to, I think, 30 miles an hour. Stuff is thick. And then to strip it off, I'm just using my knife and the space, the little thing that it goes onto. Oops, I need the little pin in my pocket. I got a pin in my pocket. This little pin here. So I'm going to strip it down to about a 1/2 inch to go inside this little pin. It's kind of hard to see, but there you go. That's the little pin that will be my conductive energy thing. So I'm going to go down to about a 1/2 inch. I'm just taking my blade around because I do not have a wire cutter to fit this size wire. Sorry, the Mabel is defending us from squirrels and deer. My little guard dog. So just stripping that back. I've got it cut. So once I get it down through the 2 layers, they've got an insulated layer and a protective layer, I guess is what everything's called. I'm not an electrician, so I don't know the names of stuff. I just know how to, I've just learned how to disconnect everything. So far, nothing's blown up. So I'm going with it. Am I going to become a journeyman? Not anytime soon. Not even close. Those guys can do stuff I don't know how to do. And I'll learn even more on the next one. There will be another. And a lot of the stuff that I'm doing now, I've been in Mildred for about 2 years. So a lot of the stuff I'm doing now, I didn't know I wanted to do later. So I will do it later on the next one. Because let's face it, there's always going to be a next one, right? Alrighty then. So, make it really easy. You slide it into its little slot to hold it. Its little crimper space. Makes it easier, yeah, most of the time. Take that, slide it into that space. Sometimes you got to get a little creative with the little wires because they want to get out of the way. Slide it in to its hole. That ratchet action makes it nice and easy to crimp. I take it to the next one down just to be safe. Give it a nice little extra tug so I know that's not coming off. Then super easy. You put the part that screws on. You slide that in the correct way. So make sure the little rubber end, this is the part that's going to crimp down on the wire to make it watertight. That slides into place. And then you screw it part of the way down. Then the kit sends you these two little blue things, right? One slides onto one end, the other, the hole, slides over here, and you just tighten them up until everything is. Generally you get that little click. Seems to be as far as it wants to go, right? And this one is connected to there. Oh, this one is not connected, so I'm not going to connect my positive end yet because I need to ground it. Well, I guess I can. So that just clicks into there. This one slides into there. Boom. Done. Nice and connected. Can you see that? So I'll have these and I'll tie everything up so it's nice and neat. I'm going to have just this little pile, I guess, up on top to hold everything in place. And then I'm going to finish this up and I will show you the rest. Sitting on my knees on the rib gets old. So everything's in. It is quite a little mishmash of all the wires and stuff, but I've got everything really super anchored. That should be good going down the road so they don't flap around too much. Everything's just done with those little sticky things like I showed you in a zip tie. So we should be good. Unfortunately, I'm now completely in the shade, so I will have to show you what the wattage is reading. We're supposed to have a good sunny morning in the morning, so it still won't be 100% because it's still really low in the horizon, but I'll have, you know, a little bit exposure to all of the panels. So we'll see how that looks in the morning. And then I'm going to keep working on my sail boost that I've got wired into little Miss Mildred here, and thanks for watching. I hope I'm explaining all of this correctly. So this is the 80 volt or 80 amp charger that I showed you. The reason I went with the 80 is I am possibly going to add one more solar panel at some point in the future. I'm not sure, so I'll have 700 watts, but this gave me more than I needed. And so just going through everything, as you can see, the absorption rate, so that's what that means there. The absorption rate on the batteries right now is 14.6 volts. There we go, that's better. It's 24 degrees Celsius. The absorption that's coming in is 20 volts. I've got this set, so right now, because of the angle, I'm only getting 2.4 amps of charging. I don't think that's ever going to get any better. It was hitting at about 4 a second ago, so it's all just kind of bouncing back and forth because the angle of the sun is just so off. Okay, so you just kind of run through your different deals. I'm up to 340. It's reading at 344 kilowatt hours of charge. I'm plugged in, so that's all wrong, of course. I don't have a load on there right now. The modes, I don't really know all of this. So I've got the battery set at a flood. It's a lead acid battery, so it's set at a flood. I need to get 2 more batteries. I'm only sitting at 4 right now. So you get the idea. So that's running through. Like I said, it's just not going to show a whole lot of charge or a whole lot of DLC. Now it's already back down because it's already starting to tuck behind that tree. So I'm down to only 2 panels pulling on the end. But you get the idea. Hopefully that helps. Sorry, everything is just a complete mess. But if you have any questions, let me know. With the mirror, I'm sitting at one end, and you can still see my entire RV. Anyway, so hopefully that helps. One of these days I'll show when I've got some decent sun angle, but you take what you can get in the middle of January. In the south, I'm plugged in, so it's all irrelevant at this point. And until I can get a decent angle on the sun, it doesn't really matter. I mean, I probably, if I was turned the other way, I don't know. I don't know that I could ever get the right sun. So here in a couple months, I'll have a better idea of just how much power I'm pulling. Like I said before, I have in the past pulled up to 15 amps. And I think when I did the equation, that was when I just had the 4 panels, and it was in Florida late or early fall. But in Florida, and I think the equation that I used based on a 12 volt, I had to pull it up on something, but based on a 12 volt with the wattage I have of panels up there, I think the 15.6 amps that we're pulling on that showed that it was 180 something. Anyway, I'm not unhappy with what I've got. It's just I'm not in a good situation for testing panels, but I have to fix it in the time frame that I have, and that just happens to be mid-January. So, not doing me a whole lot of good right now. Anyway, so it's a good thing I'm plugged in. Anyway, if you have any questions, just let me know, and we will chat soon or see you on the next video. Thanks. Bye.